Think I heard him. 1, 2, 3.
Am I on the stream?
Oh shit!
Legendary stack.
What's going on, iDom? Thanks for coming on.
Problem, no problem.
Okay, so I earlier I was talking about how just before we played the other day, I ran into that Ryu player, and I was kind of explaining to the stream as I was going on, like I know this guy's options. I want to counter these options, and I was kind of just describing it as I was doing it, and then we played right after that, and you did the same thing to me. So I just have a couple questions about that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, so let me share my screen so you can see it a little faster than just watching the stream here. That might be better. Let's see. So if I remember back in the day, actually, I don't know how you feel about it still, but I remember when we used to play back then, you used to really hate demon flips. Is that still the case?
I mean, you kind of have to like lab it to make it less annoying, but the move's still mad good.
Yeah, yeah. Because I remember because you usually seem so aware for every option, but back then I would watch your ranked sets and you'd run into a Kuma that's like super demon flippy and it would really piss you off. And I was always thought it's so funny that you're so aware of options, but that particular move kind of gets to you. But is that something that before we get started? Is that something that like you probably think I should do more of? Just I don't want to talk too much about what I should be doing more of, but is that something that I don't implement enough? Do you think?
It's not that. It's more like, you think there's so many options that Akuma has. So like having to think about Demon Flip 2, it's just like it's an extra layer.
Yeah.
It's another mental stack. That's
Mm.
why. It's super annoying.
So
Like
if I were to so even if you had a counter for it, I should still kind of throw it in there just so you have to think about that because if I don't do it, that's just one less thing you have to think about.
yeah.
Sort of?
If you're
Interesting.
not doing demon flip, then like I'm not even thinking about it anymore. But like it's good like to throw out a demon flip in like a clutch situation. You're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I wasn't even thinking about demon
Yeah,
flip.
yeah. Okay. Well, I always wanted to ask, but it's kind of hard to always put in Twitch chat. But I talk a lot about how much people have to think before a match gets started, and I always wondered about how the way you play because you can play long sessions and never seem to get real fatigued. How much do you think about a match before you get into it?
Uh, it depends on who I'm playing. Like even like this past weekend at ECT, because I had to play Prophet first, but I didn't know who Prophet was gonna play. So I was thinking, man, is he gonna play Gil? Is he gonna play Dan? Is he gonna play Oro? But like practicing against Oro is like I have no experience against Oro at all. So like I was somewhat labbing Oro, but like that's why you saw me like practicing against Gil. Like I think a lot before I play people.
Oh, so like, because I was wondering, even in ranked matches, I could tell you like, look, you'll see the character, and then I can see your head going around already. Like, what exactly are like the, or
Uh,
I don't want you to like expose your game plan or whatever, but I just want to know what a higher
no, no,
level
no.
player.
No. That's the thing. That's the thing. Kind of like when I don't know if you ever run into Adnan in ranked, but like when I run into Adnan and he's playing like Dawson very aggressively, it's like you're not supposed to play Dawson like that. So it throws you for a loop.
Yeah. So like when you see particular, like when you okay, and you can say whatever you want about my gameplay. I won't take anything criticism. Like, well, I'm not very. You can say I'm not very good at this, whatever it is. But anyway, when you see like, okay, you know you're about to play Akuma, you have like a couple things that you think of, right? Like, I know the answer to this, I know the answer to this. Or do you find yourself being more of a play-by-play? You kind of just go in there and let your experience kind of do what it's supposed to
uh,
do.
I mean, with Laura, I have a game plan for like Akuma. Like I have a legitimate. I'm going to just try to like walk Akuma down, stay out of like crush medium kicks so he doesn't get on a thunderclap, all that stuff. Like I wouldn't say I have like a general game plan for like a majority of the characters in the game.
Mm. The way I try to describe it to the Twitch chat is that you kind of take it piece by piece, and eventually you have a full game plan. Do you kind of think about it like that, where it's like I have this piece, this piece, this piece, and then once you put them all together, it's like a full strat that you have against a
Ye-
character?
Yeah, but it's a player and character thing. So like
Mm.
if you play against like I have a general game plan versus Akuma, but like if after a while I'm playing like you for example, I'm gonna
Mm.
be like, okay, he's doing this a lot or he's doing that a lot. Like when we were playing last time, we were playing Lore versus Akuma, I was like, okay, every time I activate V trigger, he's always backdashing or V shifting. I never do that.
Ooh.
I actually never do that versus people. But I noticed you kept backdashing and V shifting, so I was like, okay, I can start doing this.
Oh shit! Like when you activated V trigger, or when you started applying like the V trigger pressure.
Yeah. I mean, it's whenever I activate a V trigger, because like Laura's V trigger is top three V triggers in the game,
Mm-hmm.
but like people get very fidgety. I realized
Fuck
from
yeah!
like all the years of playing Laura, people
Yeah.
just get extremely fidgety. So like you start
Oh
to catch on to
wow!
like people's defensive habits.
Yeah, I that's one thing that I don't know how to tell people to get better at, including myself, is like because it seems like you're. I don't think people can all play the way you do because it seems like you. I've said this about you before, but you've never been able to respond because you'll either be in chat or I'll be in your chat. But it just seems like you have a good. You're pretty good at retaining little pieces of things that's like way more than normal. Because I was saying before you got on here, like when I play other good players, I feel like I can get bopped, but I don't feel totally downloaded. But then after about 6 or 7 games with you, it feels like it's getting worse and worse. Where it's like you're noticing more and more, even when you're already beating my ass. It already seems like you're still retaining little pieces of information to like make it worse. Is that what's going on in your head? You're like kind of like, oh, now he's doing this, now he's doing this, and you like automatically have some fucking counter for it or something.
Yeah, I mean that just comes from like playing the game and like having strategies versus certain characters. But like the longer the set goes on, the more I'm like, okay, he's doing this a lot or he's doing that a lot. So it's just like it's like a memory bank.
Oh yeah, but there's a lot of people who play this game a lot though, and that's why you're kind of interesting because like I play the game a lot, and I don't really. I try to think about situations, and then when you watch like a gold player, they're trying to too on a lower level, but it's just like somehow it makes me wonder that when I used to play you with Alex a long, long time ago, were you always thinking I'm trying to be like the best in this game? Was that always some idea that you had?
No, not really. I was just playing the game for
Really?
like fun. Yeah, I didn't even like think about it
That
like that.
wow. So you never had a goal of like one day I'm gonna be the best of this game or like one of the best in this game.
Nah, I couldn't tell you. No, no, not at all.
Wow. Do you think that's what kind of helps you? So you just genuinely let me get this straight. You enjoy playing the game.
I genuinely like Street Fighter Five. I think this is a fun video game. As
Wow.
as weird as that sounds, I know everyone's
Yeah.
getting triggered right now as I said that.
I like it too. I wish I had the ability to like see through the weeds like you do because I remember bringing it back to the Alex matches. I don't know if you remember back then, but you were like Diamond. This is back when Diamond was like a big deal, and I always tell people that I used to play you and I used to take games off you, but I could tell that your trajectory is different. I could tell you weren't exactly playing to just beat me. You were trying to play like you had a further goal in mind, which is what made me think that you always had an idea about becoming as the best you can be and maybe like one of the best players. It's interesting that you kind of just played and just that's how your brain operates.
It's different. Well, it's not really different, but like when I was learning the game, even like one thing I hate about, well, not hate about this game, but one thing that's like very annoying or like super annoying to deal with is like when you play ranked and you're playing like I don't know, Akira just came out. I don't know the Akira matchup that well. I think Akira's really annoying, but
Just talked about it. Yep.
not knowing like specific matchups to me is what really annoys me. So like I'll try to find people who like play Akira or like I'll love the character if I like it, but I have no interest in Akira. I think she's lame. But
So you don't spend as much time. So it always seemed like you were more like a learn by play type of player. Is that accurate?
yeah, I'd rather play against the character than learn the character themselves. Unless like I think the character's cool. Like when Do was playing G and I was losing a Do a lot, I started playing G, for example. But I thought G was cool, even though I was tired of losing a Do.
Hmm. So one of the ways I train it would be to like, for example, if I lost to a Colleen that I didn't really like, I'll be like, is there something about this I'm missing? So I'll watch the replay and I'll take it to the lab. But it sounds like you rather play Colleen a million times and kind of learn it as you move along.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I prefer.
Do
I
you
think that's
do
better.
you think that's better,
Yeah.
or better for maybe because yeah, like I said, it seems like you retain information better, and I feel like I have to like watch something and then like map it out exactly in the lab. Be like, okay, this is exactly what I do here. But it seems like you just kind of maybe it's just volume, man. Like the fact that you're willing to play me 20 games, even though it's like I've only won one game and you're willing to play 20. I think that might be a big part of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Like I said, it's more like I'm still learning stuff about Akuma. Like, oh, all this V skill 2 stuff like you're doing with Akuma. I'm lost. I'm like, okay, just in case, like I don't know, I go to a tournament in Europe or Japan or whatever, and some V skill 2 Akuma. It's like it's good to know this information. Stuff like that.
Oh, so do you have that same feeling even when you're playing against like a Diamond Ryu? Do you?
Nah, I mean that's not really fair to the Diamond Ryu because they're like jumping and dashing 50 million
Yeah,
times.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
That's kind of the problem with ranked hunt. It doesn't give you enough information to like take away and apply somewhere else. Once you get to a certain point, you just have to watch out for these couple things, and then you end up winning
yeah.
most of your matches. Interesting. Wow. Well, the reason why I wanted to initially bring you on is because I've always wanted to have this thing where I bring higher level players on to talk about a replay, but from my perspective. So you could, because there's some things that you did that it took me a long time to notice, and I was like, oh, I noticed some things that you were doing finally. Like I was like, oh, I see what he's doing here. And one of the things, as you might have heard, is it's I feel kind of not embarrassed to say it, but like when you bait my whiff punish, it's not something I really do myself. Like you purposely whiff stand medium punch, and then I try. You saw that I was trying to get the fierce from a certain space, and then you like crouch fierced it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like that type of situation?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So is that like, was that like a response you saw from a certain space that I was like whiffing stand fierce to whiff punish you? You saw that and you had an answer for it?
Yeah, it's kind of like a bait on top of a bait. Like I know you want to whiff punish me, so like I can whiff something to make you try to whiff punish, but I know you're not close enough, and then it's a hook, line, and sinker kind of.
Yeah, yeah. I guess what is interesting about that for me is how are you able to so quickly apply a strategy like that when you see something? So you see a fierce, and your immediate thought is, if I whiff this particular button, he throws fierce, and I can throw this button. Like, that's not something you lab out, or is that something that you've just over the time have just you've put that together?
I think that's like an over the time like playing lore for so long kind of thing.
So that you can use that in a bunch of situations.
Yeah, like even like Akuma for example, like playing against Akuma, you gotta know like the best buttons to whiff punish, like stand heavy punch, stand medium kick, like in all the ranges like the moves will whiff at. So it's kind of like I know all of Lore's best buttons to like whiff punish those moves, and like Lore's buttons that like, well, Akuma's options to whiff punish like Lore's moves. Like I think Akuma's crouch medium kick super annoying for Laura. Like
I probably don't use that enough, huh?
yeah, it's like it's buttons like that. Like you got to know like every character's like problem button.
Yeah, I actually talk about that a lot, and still I found myself. I think the big part of that was like, yeah, I was telling people I have like a stage 1 neutral where it's like I see you throw a move, I try to whiff punish. That's kind of like, I think that's like there's the players like diamond players, and then there's the higher level players on the lower end who I could just counter most things, but then once you bring like a counter option to my counter, that's kind of where I start to have problems. And I think you emphasize that really hardly. You just so quickly come up with a counter to what I'm doing, and I guess the reason why I brought you here was talk more about that, because I think that's where a lot of people get stuck. Because like I said, I don't run into a whole lot of situations where I was like, man, it's like you so instantly come up with an answer for whatever I'm doing, and I don't know how you come up with these answers so fast. So maybe we can just hop into a replay, and I'm sure we'll see an example of that like real quick.
It's like I said, it's very weird because like playing like high level players, even when I like played Tokido in that first to 10 in London, like you start to notice like problem buttons and like what their strategy is versus Laura. For like the more I was playing him, I was like, oh, I see how he wants to approach Laura. Like I think he has like a default Laura spreadsheet, kind of like a lot of people do. Well, like a lot of top players do.
Oh, so when you do go into a matchup of that caliber of Tokyo, how did that go anyway? I don't even recall that.
in the first at 10, I had won 10-7, but like it was he was picking up steam the longer the set was going on. I feel like he was getting more of I understand how Laura plays, but he had to understand how I wanted to play.
Right. Uh, so, is there something similar with higher level players too? Like higher level, like at the top level, with like Tokyo, for example, are you able to do the same thing where you can immediately sense like a reaction to something, or are these people? He's too high level for me to really understand exactly what he's doing. But are you noticing adaptations at the same speed that you're adapting, or is that like only you and a select couple of people? Like, what is that?
Yeah, like he adapts really fast because you can sense him catching on. I do think like I kind of had an advantage because I don't think anybody really plays lore in Japan, so I felt like when we were playing, I did feel the I don't know this character that well kind of thing. Kind of like if I ran into I don't know Blanca or something. Like
Right.
I don't know Blanca too well, so.
Wow, that's cool. Did you stream that?
Yeah, but that was like
That was when you were in the
5 months
hotel
ago.
room, right? Maybe I did watch that. Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, let's see how this goes here. So this is actually the last set. I had finally won one game, and I wanted to pick. I wanted to pick one where I won, but then after, this is the one after where you win again. I just wanted to see where I finally had a little bit of inkling of confidence. Like, okay, I got something going here, but. I don't know what the difference is between a match that I win and a match that I lose against you, other than maybe you made a fucking error or something. But let's see.
I mean,
go ahead.
it's no. But like, the thing with this game is like, you can get ran over. Like the best players get ran over. I feel like a lot of people don't really put their like mindsets into that. Like top players could get ran over. I've played so many sets over the years where like even like ranked matches where like it's just a round where the diamond player jumped my whip as poison and then like shimmied me and I just lost. Like
right.
It happens. Like you can't really let that bother you.
Yeah. And I do have a little issue with that, but like I said, it's just there's something going on in our matches where I'm not figuring something out, and I guess the key for me, because I don't really want to just have you lay out your whole game plan. I'm like, hey, everyone, I think even if people did know your game plan, they still wouldn't be able to beat you, but still, I don't want to make this about like, hey, tell us all your secrets, but there's something that you're doing that I can't figure out, and I kind of wish, I kind of hope that maybe here we'll be able to see something. Okay, so
I mean, okay, even like that first couch fierce, like one of Akuma's problem buttons is that light punch. I was trying to whiff punish that, but like I said, I was too late. But I already had the game plan because I think if you hit stand jab, stand medium kick, another problem button, or crouch medium kick, that would have worked. It was just jabs way too quick, so you recovered it.
Oh, okay.
That was me trying to whiff punish.
Okay,
One
yeah.
of the problem buttons, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so maybe I just didn't have that button on my radar, but yeah, that was actually really. I think that was pretty close to actually whip punishing even my jab. But so I tried to sweep, but Laura's cheap as hell for some reason. Leg doesn't exist. But see, my game plan going into Laura is basically that look out for the fireballs like that, and I think he handles her neutral well. You're just better in neutral than I am. Would you say that? Like he can handle her in the mid game, right?
Yeah, but like in that kind of scenario, it's like that was a good fireball, I guess. But like you could have Tatsu'd it. Like Laura, when I play against Laura, it's like it's like a reaction game. It's like one of those games you run into like on a web browser. It's just like reaction time. You got to be ready for like everything. But it's just really weird. Like my game plan versus Laura is very weird too. Even when I play against.
No, yeah, you're really good at. I think that what people can generally see, I don't think people understand mostly where your play is coming from. They could tell instantly that you like stack options on top of options to make people think about. Because even at the end, you started doing the goddamn V skill dashes after already beating the hell out of me. Then you started adding V skill dashes. There's like no way I'm stopping it. My mind's already flooded with a bunch of other stuff. So, and you saved it till the end too, which was even worse. All right, let's see here. Okay, a little something. Cool Oki there. Yeah. Yeah, so something like that.
The more like when we're playing, the more you're backdashing towards the corner, I don't mind like not getting any damage. But if the closer I get Akuma to the corner, I feel like it's just better for me. That's why like if you like Tatsu'd over or like crush medium kick, because like crush medium kick's the main button I'm looking out for. That I'm really scared of with Akuma because that button's really good.
Yeah.
But if I'm pushing you to the corner, I still feel like I'm winning. Health bars don't matter right now.
I've heard you talk about stuff like that before. About like there's certain matchups where you all you care about is the health relation. It seemed like I think it was like Poison versus Sagat or something, where like all I care about is having the life lead or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that's a Sagat problem though. Like Sagat can't start offense. If you're winning versus Sagat, I feel like you really shouldn't lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you don't. But it seems like something like that. I can feel myself being pushed to the corner, but I don't really think that's your game plan. But yeah, interesting.
That's one thing with like Sagat though, because like when I play Sagat, if I'm winning, it doesn't. If like I have 100% life and he's at like 50, I don't think I should lose that like at all. I could be playing Laura, Poison, G, Akuma, Ryu. That's just how I feel about Sagat though.
Oh really? You should. I want to see you use Akuma versus Scott. Anyway, let's.
Well, I wouldn't know how to get the lead to start. That's my issue.
That is a tough thing, like because you feel the pressure once you have even in, like get hit with a bunch of tiger shots like block. You feel like you had to do something because it's just gonna get worse. So that's definitely something I've been having problems with. But in any case, as you just saw, I think, yeah. So you're trying to push me in the corner. I hit you with the damn thing. Now are you trying to like dash under that?
When I saw a demon flip, I was like I said, it's not in my mental stack. I wasn't even thinking he's about to do demon flip here. I don't even think I realized you had meter yet. So I'm just thinking, oh shit, he jumps or whatever. Then like it's a fast flash, and then like I just eat shit for it because I'm not even ready for it.
So like, would you say that's a big issue that I might have is that I don't introduce enough options? You just have me so stapled down by the time we play a few games. It seems like I don't know where to go from there.
Like it's good to throw out like new options that people aren't thinking about. It's kind of like I tell people this a lot. Like it's not good to be random, but it's always good to like throw something out that people don't expect. Like Do is so good because like he played solid, but like it was sprinkled with random. Because I used to complain Do played random all the time, but it wasn't too random.
Right.
Yeah.
There was I had a Red Bull tournament once, and Cool Kid came up from behind me. And he's like, "Hey man, keep it solid, but don't be afraid to do the dumb shit." That's what he told me.
Yeah, I think like that's like super important advice in this game.
I mean, that is how you play. You're super aware, and then all of a sudden we'll do a fucking V skill overhead, just to have that in there. But how do you think about that? Like the even if it gets punished, it's kind of worth just having that information out there.
Yeah, it's good to like put that mental stack on them to make sure like, hey, I can play solid, but I can random you out too.
Yeah. Dang, there's just too much to take in. All right, so we got this. Do you think V Skill 2 is even worth it in this matchup? Like, the way I pick V Skill 2 is I wonder what I'm supposed to do with V Skill 1 in the matchup. It gives me the Oki every time. Is that something that you're particularly worried about in this matchup? Is the follow-up like that?
So, like, I don't really see V Skill 2 Akuma too often. I feel like the only time I really see is when I'm watching your stream.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know, because, like, if you build V-meter, because I think V-meter is super important versus Laura. So, if it's getting you a lot of V-meter, I can see the point of using V-skill 2.
Yeah.
And, like, V-skill 1, the combos will get you a lot of V-meter. But, like I said, I don't know which V-skill builds more V-meter, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I would probably say whichever one gets you more V-meter will probably be better.
Yeah, I think overall the big difference is so the V skill 2 gets you way more damage in the corner, and then V skill 1 will get you more consistent Oki. Like right there, like look this Oki here, for example, like this. Look at that, that's garbage. But so Demon Flip V skill always gets me right in your face, and that's probably worth having against Laura.
Yeah, that's probably better in the long run.
Yeah. Okay, so something like this. Uh,
Oh, okay. That's honestly because everyone complains about that. That's me being bad. That's just me missing like buffers. I'm trying to be really fast about it, but that's me being bad. But
oh
honestly, that only happens when I play lore. But that doesn't happen often.
no, yeah.
But that's me being bad.
No, but I think it's actually cool that you point out your mistakes because you're able to like even when you make a mistake and I know it's a mistake, you just fully convert it to whatever it is that you need. It's amazing how many times you watch your stream and you're about to lose a ranked match and then they just fucking do something crazy and you just win. You're like, oh, okay, well that was nice. All right, because you're always even when you win the game, sometimes you'll be like, I don't like that.
Yeah, because it's like when I win and like it was like an ugly win. Like I feel like the person lost because
You
the
whiffed
person
light
lost
elbow on wake up and then they tried to press the button, you counter hit, right?
yeah. Like I'm not always gonna win like that, or I'm not trying to win like that.
Oh, so before we go any further, I need to ask. I was just talking about the only time I've ever seen you salty is versus Art that other day.
I mean that's just me. I
But
think Art has like a weird defensive tendency because like we've played a lot over the years, but like I think V trigger in this game is good, but like if you're losing the V trigger all the time, it's not the game's fault. That sounds like a you problem. So I think like it's weird. Like there's strong V triggers in the game, but if you're constantly getting robbed by Laura's V trigger, that's not Laura's fault. That's kind of yours.
yeah, and definitely. But there was one instance where I really didn't like where I blocked this insane mix-up that you did in the corner. I haven't seen you started doing that until recently. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's like, it's really fast and you can side switch either way. But I blocked it. You back up and you still had another more V trigger to do another mix-up option. I was like, what? I did the hard part already. I thought, but now I have to do some more. But I need to like take some time to actually like look into those. But let's see. Okay, so that right there, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean that's fine for me, but like I'm at a steep hill to climb because like the life bar not even close to the corner, so I'm not even really where I want you to be. But like I'll take the screen space because like I got to start working from somewhere.
Yeah, one of the things that I noticed bad about myself is this happens in tournament a lot because it just there's more pressure. I just I'll do like neutral backdash, backdash to like try to reset this. I'd rather reset the situation than even let you activate V trigger and then figure out what I'm supposed to do from there. That's my logic, but I see when I'm watching a replay, it's like I just gave you so much space to kind of work with while you have V trigger. So that's gonna blow up on my face for sure. Yeah, and you read it. Yeah, you just were talking about that.
That was from us playing a lot. I started catching on like, okay, every time I activate V trigger, he's either backdashing or V shifting. So I was like, this option will be both.
Yeah, damn. And then,
Yeah.
well,
Then V trigger happens. Yeah.
yeah. So let's see. Am I about to die here? No. That right there. I blocked it. See, actually, this is the round I was talking about. So I finally blocked this damn thing. Boop, block, and then I still feel like I have to hold another thing. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm trying to figure out here. Okay, so when you have V trigger and you're throwing the bolts out, you can use the meter to then back dash out of it or forward dash. And so if I do something like MK Tatsu, it might whiff.
Yeah.
So when you're in a situation like this, how is it not just specifically a Kuma, but in this situation here, so I block this, you back up, you activate this to get started again. I think I could have reacted in time actually.
Yeah, you could probably Tatsu through that, but all I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to win before. Well, I'm trying to get one more mix-up before you activate V-Trigger, so I don't have to worry about Akuma's V-Trigger, because Akuma's V-Trigger is really good.
Yeah.
But if I don't win right now, I'm just probably going to have to back up and basically eat shit from Akuma's V-Trigger.
Yeah, because then I
don't
activate, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have I don't have enough health right now to sustain Akuma's V-Trigger. That's all I'm thinking about right now. So I'm thinking if I don't win right now, I'm probably gonna lose.
Yeah, all I have to do is activate, get a combo, and win.
Yeah.
So actually, yeah, Meg said that you were still in V trigger. So do you think a backdash actually would beat MK Tatsu here?
Maybe.
Maybe.
So I'm not sure. Like from eyeballing it, I think MK Tatsu would have whiffed.
Oh, you would think it would whiff.
Yeah.
It's pretty fast. Her backdash. Oh yeah, you did backdash. Yeah, that is pretty far too. Maybe I don't know. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Oh, so the main problem there was like once you had V trigger, my defense backdash really just kind of cost me that one situation. That really cost me that.
Yeah, like when if I'm playing against like me personally, if I'm playing against Lore and like I have a good life lead, I'm not moving. Like I'll get command grab 3 times.
All right.
But that's the way I play against the character.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, we're in a similar situation here. Okay, that was a good backdash. Okay. Okay, same situation here. So yeah, you're noticing that when you throw booms, I'm not countering it anymore. I'm like running away from it.
Yeah, but even there, it's like this is like you jumping back is good for me because like you're closer to the corner.
Yeah, for sure.
But I got hit by EX Fireball, trying to suck. But even then, that's still not even a complete loss on my end because now you don't have meter, and I don't have to care about like demon flips anymore.
Yeah,
Because,
and it only took like a little bit of health, so not the worst thing.
yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. You've mentioned about her crouch medium kick. It's like, it's scary. But I could be whiff punishing all of these. I'm just not. You know?
Yeah.
I hate that situation. Is fireballs even worth using against her?
I think so, but you have to be very mindful of her fireball. Like,
Yeah.
it's not your traditional fireball game when you play against Lore.
Yeah. If it clashes, like that's bad news. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Look. Okay. So this is crazy. Like, maybe this is a situation that people can see how well you play, but it's like this kind of situation here where you get right out of the medium kick and then you do like this little inch forward here. I mean, and then press medium punch right when I do that. So it makes me feel like that you got closer on purpose to kind of to force me to do something. Like, I mean, I don't expect you to be able to explain every single micro situation, but when you move forward like that, was that particularly to try to catch a counter hit on something?
So you did cross medium kick. I just slightly walked forward because like I was like I need a button to activate into V trigger, and Laura's cross medium punches her fastest medium that I actually get like a good combo from doing. I stopped trying to do medium kick into V trigger because I feel like the more I was playing like super top level players like Punk, they'll whiff punish me medium kick into V trigger or like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to use that button less. So I'm trying to like gravitate towards using crouch medium punch. That's all that really was.
So even if that hit, you were gonna do medium punch into fireball. Activate?
Yeah, I was just gonna go into V trigger.
Oh, okay. Dang. All right, and then I'm a goner, right? Okay, so the thing is, the reason why this was interesting to me, because it wasn't really a Laura thing, because you picked poison and did this, it was pretty much the same exact thing. That's why I feel like there's like some fundamental issue there, and I was just wondering if you don't even have to put it lightly, so there's like a chink in my armor somewhere, and it looks like it's a lot of it's just like,
I wouldn't say defense. It's more like understanding like situations. Like Akuma's neutral can beat Laura. Poison, I can't really help you because I think that match is very hard for Akuma.
Yeah.
But like with Laura, it's more like understanding situations and like you have to be willing to take damage versus Laura and like realize when you're in like Laura's danger zone per se. So like there's like hot spots where like Laura can do a lot of damage, and then there's like dead zones where like you're completely safe. Like she can't hurt you from where you want to be. So like where medium kick, where you can just like do crouch medium kick to fireball like safely all the time. Those are like the best ranges for Akuma because like unless you whiff crouch medium kick, Laura can't hit you. Like I don't have a move that'll reach that far.
I did notice I used crouch medium kick when you counter hit me, but I wasn't really using it that much. I don't feel like I use that move a lot. Once I start to get scared of the close pressure, I feel like that move goes away a little bit.
But like two of like Akuma's best buttons, like when I was like practicing the Akuma matchup like a lot, even when I would play with like Samurai or whoever it might have been, like Akuma's like I said earlier, the two problem buttons are like stand jab, stand medium kick, and crouch medium kick.
Mm-hmm.
But like those three buttons, I think can literally give Laura issues if like applied correctly and like don't whiff too bad. Like you need
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
those three buttons in Fireball, and I feel like that just gives Laura a hard time.
Interesting. So Mag says, question about dealing with mental stack with Laura, like what things in particular he looks for when he gets knocked down.
Uh, when I get knocked down by Laura, it depends on the knockdown because like I know most of her Oki situations. So if I get command grabbed, I'm just looking for dash or jump. But if it's like V skill, you gotta guess. If it's heavy punch bolt, I play characters with 3 frames luckily, so you can mash on that on her wake up and like just trade with her because it's better than guessing obviously. But a lot of the times like I just try to V reversal her away. Like Laura's one of those characters I'm not even thinking about getting V trigger to be honest.
When you're fighting against Laura?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was actually going to bring that up. I think I'm V reversing at the wrong spots because I notice when I'm just waiting for the trigger and then trying to make a comeback and it doesn't work out. And I was like, well, maybe I need to like get out of these situations. But I think a big mistake is people V reversing the fireball and not the move that you're using to get into the fireball. Like for example, like crouch fearsome or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like V reversaling her because like her neutral's obviously okay, but uh it's more about just V reversaling her and making her like desperate to activate V trigger. At least that's my plan versus the character at least.
What was that last part? When you sense when people are desperate to activate?
Yeah, it's kind of like so when people want to activate V trigger, you know, like everyone has their common routes. Like Laura do forward heavy punch into V trigger, G does EX rush punch into V trigger. Who's it? Zeku will do slide into V trigger.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you stop them from wanting to activate V trigger, like you have to deter them, like or preemptive moves, like trying to stop those kind of what you call those kind of like buttons per se.
I see. Which that actually might have been why you were so aware of Stand Fierce because Akuma Stand Fierce activates in a super common way. So
yeah, it's a common. It's common. That's the thing. That's the thing with Akuma, and that's why the with Fireball V trigger nerf is such a godsend because you couldn't stop that activation. Like,
yeah, goddamn.
that was gonna happen.
I think that was OP back then, but I think they could bring it back now, and he would be. I don't know how I feel, but dang, that's a lot of crazy ass info. Shoot. Well, I told you I'd only keep you for an hour. It's already been an hour, so you can head out if you want to. I don't know. Are you streaming later today?
I'll probably stream NOBC. I mean, I'm down to go through like another replay.
Oh hell yeah! All right, yeah. I just if you whenever you got to head out, you just let me know. Let's go here. Let's go to. I think I was defeated near the end there. I was like, I don't think I have it. So why don't we go a little earlier on here? Actually, how about the first game? Maybe we'll find some. Well, let's try this one. So yeah, I mean, I think I use my resources badly when I'm in high pressure situations, and I think those resources really matter in situations like that where you need to, like, you know, I did the jump back EX fireball. I don't know if that was worth it. I spent a lot on EX fireball that doesn't hit. Do you think that as a really big part of the game is how you use your resources like that?
Yeah,
like
meter management is like it's so important in this game that no one talks about. Like knowing when to manage your EX meter. Like when I play Laura, people really notice. I don't use EX command grab a lot. I don't use any other EX move besides EX Thundercloud really when I use her. So like, but that's like one of the best EX moves in the game. But like Akuma per se, you know, Demon Flip is like throwing a wrench out there, like nobody's expecting Demon Flip. But Akuma has some decent EX moves like Jump Air Fireball and EX Demon Flip. So me personally, I think if you have like a busted EX move, the other ones kind of don't matter. Like EX Tatsu or what else is it?
Maybe even regular EX fireball. I throw that a lot in pressure just to back you up, but it just gets blocked and it's probably not worth just spending like that.
Yeah, probably. It's good in like fireball traps, but that's probably about it. I wouldn't use it just like randomly.
Yeah, in neutral just to like get them off you for a second. I don't know if that's worth it. because I feel like I said, especially like in tournaments or situations like this where I'm just overwhelmed, I'll just end up spending meter just to get you away for just a second. Like, God, get off of me, EX Fireball. But yeah, EX Demon Flip is something I probably don't do that enough. I have a tendency to not want to. I try not to look weaselly, which is a stupid way of thinking about it. But I think like all Akumas are known for demon flipping all over the place. So I was like, oh, I don't want to. I want to play like Tokido and do this. But I really do feel like I could probably get away with more, just in hopes to take some games off you if I were to like just throw a couple more things out there just to give you something to think about, maybe.
Yeah, like I said, I with this game, I think like it's super important to like mentally stack your opponent to like make them not think about certain options. Like even when I don't know let me take a Cammy for example. Like Cammy's so good because like she can mentally stack like jump, dive kick, dash. There's so many things to her buttons are just really good. I feel like mentally stacking your opponent a lot with like a lot of options is like the best thing you could do in Street Fighter 5.
That actually leads me to a question I've always wanted to ask, and I never heard anyone else ask this. Is like, because you hear a lot of, especially high level players talking about like the mental stack of a game, but how are you supposed to sense when that mental stack is starting to take an impact on your opponent? Like when you decide, okay, this person's now worried about this and this, I'm gonna throw this in there. Exactly. Like, is there something that a character or opponent does that makes you sense that they're kind of getting overwhelmed, or do you just say, I'm gonna do this, see where it goes from there, and then if he's getting hit with the overhead V skill, maybe he's gonna be worried about that?
So if like say I'm playing Laura and like I'm doing thunderclaps and like I notice like okay he's not checking thunderclaps and like he's getting very like maybe after like the third thunderclap I'm like okay he's getting annoyed that he's not stopping thunderclap, so now I'm going to start throwing in V skill dashes because he's probably thinking damn I gotta stop this thunderclap, I just keep letting him get away with it, and then he's not even thinking about V skill dash or like I'm just going to jump in and like he's not going to be looking for that or whatever.
Wow. So yeah, what I was talking about. So you throw the third thunderclap, and by then you just have to assume that there's no way that's not irritating him.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, you just kind of have to make a read. Like, I think this is pissing him off.
Yeah, but it's better with poison in my opinion because it's much easier to annoy somebody as like poison. Like, oh, he's just hitting crouch heavy punch, or like he hit crouch heavy punch 3 times in a row. What is he doing? Next thing you know, he dashes forward and I get counter hit because I wasn't looking for a dash or whatever it might be.
Shoot, I realize that's such a big problem for me too. I know you've seen parts of my stream where I won't even be talking about the fucking match. I'll be talking about like, oh, this guy's sure stroking himself off. So like, I think that's probably a big like you never seem to run into those hurdles where you just instead of not paying attention to the match, you just blabber on about how much you hate something. Is that like an attention span issue? How are you able to stay focused for so long? Like what?
No, I mean I get annoyed too. I like you don't see it. Like I try to mask it, but I get annoyed too. Dawson's super annoying. You know, dude's just floating around, hitting whatever button he feels like hitting.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to affect your gameplay the way that like I crumble fast. As soon as I start to get irritated, like I'm not even paying attention to the match. So you're still able to maintain a certain level of attention while still being like, what the fuck is this character? That's what I'm kind of curious about.
No, I like it's more about masking it and more thinking, damn, it's easier in tournament because I'm like, this character's annoying, but if I just lose 2-0, at least it'll be over.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because as I mentioned before, I watch a lot of your streams, and there's a couple people who I never see outwardly become salty too much. Like you'll like the most salty you ever get. I hear you go is like, bruh, and like you'll just see something dumb happen, you'll just say that, and then also like people like Tega, that he just never seems to get too upset. I see him get so robbed, and he'll just be like, and that would just drive me crazy. And I think that's a big part of the way people grow as a player. Is like instead of just getting so worked up about it, you have to like actively sit and try to find an answer to the situation. Do you feel like you're good at that?
Yeah, but like it depends. Like certain characters like not irritate me, but like in season 3 when Abigail was a thing, or Guile, even I hated playing against Guile in season 3. I wouldn't try to show like how annoyed or like pissed off I was, but you gotta like mask it and like try not to let the person you're playing against know you're pissed off or like you know
Oh.
it's like the meme where the guy has like the smile on his face but he's like crying on the inside.
Right.
That's kind of what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's not even a way I look at it where like people sensing that you're upset. It's not so much you being upset. It's they're able to tell that you're tilted, and then they change their decision making based on you being tilted, and it makes it worse.
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of cool. Uh, okay, I actually didn't start playing Street Fighter until like late four. Did you play that?
Yeah, I played Street Fighter 4.
Uh, I still have a hard time believing because back when you were just like when Diamond was like the highest level, I still have a hard time believing that you never imagined yourself being like the best player or like one of the best players. You are sitting here telling me that you won Capcom Cup and it wasn't really your intent, or it was never a goal.
No, not really. I mean, I used to watch like Capcom Cup when like Street Fighter 4 and like yeah, and like Street Fighter 4 times, but like if I told you I thought I was gonna win, I would be lying.
But you were definitely you had your eyes set on winning that.
No, no, I was trying not to
Correct.
go 0-2 when I went into Capcom Cup.
Do
That
you
was
guys
my plan.
do you guys hear that? That's so weird. Like some people, I would think most people like they have a goal. They want to get top eight at Premier, or they want to get they want to get the grand final or win their local or whatever it is. It's just so weird to hear like oh well. Like 'cause, I mean, I can tell you didn't even have like a game plan ready when you did win. Your speech was like
No,
kind of whatever.
okay, my game plan. So when I was practicing for Capcom Cup, whatever it might be, I think I played Shine like a million games before I played Fujimura. But that was just all me practicing. Cause like I said, my goal was to not go 0-2. I didn't really practice for whoever was next. I was like, I just gotta beat this guy.
That is so crazy, man. That's so crazy to think about. Because that's one of the things I really wanted to make sure that I remember to ask you because I feel I lack ambition as far as like I'm trying to get top eight at a premiere, and I felt like that's what was required in order to get something like that. Like you have to have your eyes set on. If you're trying to run a premier event, you can't simply be like I'm trying to get better. I need to have my eyes set on some sort of championship, and it just seems like you genuinely enjoy playing so much that it's just the results of your hard work.
Yeah, I think, but yeah, that's the thing. Feel like that kind of helps me with Street Fighter 5. It's just liking the game. Like I like the game, and like if anybody if anybody ever wants to play, I'm always down to play. But like I feel like you can learn something from every play. Okay, let me not say every player you play because there are the diamond players and rank. But you can learn something from like a lot of really good players, even if like you're better or worse than them.
Yeah. Dang. It sounds like it sounds like to me like we share a lot of thoughts, and you're just so good at actually doing the action. Because I feel like I talk about all these on my stream, but then you get wrapped up in just being whatever it might be. And I always talk. You just have such good attention span. I feel. Do you feel like your attention span's good?
Uh, if I'm interested, like I have a good attention span in like video games, but like if somebody's talking about like I don't know politics or something, I might start blocking out or,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
stop paying attention. Yeah.
I did notice that. Same thing with Punk 2 is that you guys seem to have a lot of eggs in a basket of like this is your everything kind of revolves around this. At least at some point it did.
Yeah.
Would you
like,
say that?
Yeah, because like I said, I have fun playing the game, so I I want like I said, I like playing fighting games and I like competing, but honestly, I just want more people to play fighting games. That's kind of my main goal.
Damn, I gotta look at it more like that instead of scaring people away with my crazy ass attitude.
I mean, we're both streamers, so like being toxic on stream definitely comes naturally. But
Yeah.
like it's the diamond players in rank, man. That's really just like drives you and it pisses you off. It gets your blood boiling.
Yeah. 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 But I just had a good thought in my head. Oh yeah. So you average. I see your number average, and I really do think it should be higher because you are like a prime example of how far just good gameplay in general can get. Because you've gotten better about catering to your stream, but I wouldn't even say that you tailor yourself for streaming. You're more so just a really, really good player, and the people that come in are almost strictly there because of how well you play, instead of
I
like, for example, like I'm not super high level, but I try to shut up. So I'm trying to tailor it. You know, I'm good enough to be interesting, and then also I try to cater to the stream as well. And I really think I've talked to you about this before, but I really think,
Yeah.
you know, we need to help you tailor that, because you just should be getting more views if you're spending all this time playing and streaming at the same time. I really feel like you should like maximize it. What are your thoughts on that anyway?
it's to me it's more like YouTube views, because like I think YouTube is like super important for like getting viewership. Like you can definitely up your views on Twitch a lot, because like I said, I think people who watch YouTube videos, they don't even know Twitch exists. So
Yeah.
it's more like that. I think it's just you got to reach out more. People are on Twitch. I mean, people are on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, whatever it
Oh
might
yeah.
be. They don't even know Twitch exists.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's the only reason why I even get the views I get, because I go out to so many outlets like my YouTube channel. I think that's what's got me over that hump of like I was stuck at like 50 for a while, and then I started doing YouTube, and all of a sudden the number started going up. But I was saying for you, do you even have a YouTube channel?
I started one, but like I was doing the editing myself, and then I started getting lazy, and then I
Yeah.
was like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, you're much more in the competitive aspect. For me, I do a little bit of competition, a little bit of a lot of content creation. We got to find a way to get you to do that, because I just think with such a good player, and then if you were to have all of those things working out for you, you just be able to make more money, and because this is kind of what you're doing right now, right? Same as me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be a huge bump up for sure. And what about things like lessons and stuff like that? You ever think about doing that?
The thing with lessons, like I don't mind helping people, but like giving lessons to like silver players, it's weird, because like I can help you, but like at the end of the day, it's probably like you're just not anti-airing, or you're just
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's something simple like that.
Mm-hmm. Like you probably find more benefit in maybe hell. Well, I don't even know. At your level, maybe you're so high level that it's kind of hard, because that you're
No,
like
because
so.
no,
Yeah.
I feel like I was gonna. There was always one thing I wanted to do, like kind of like this, where it's like we're just sitting back shooting the shit, and like do like Discord chats like this, where like other players on the East Coast or like Midwest or whatever it might be, and, like try to help players like this, because like I think this is a good way to like get people help people see like flaws in how they're playing, or like where they're messing up, where they're making mistakes, kind of like that.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. And also, a lot of us have egos too, where we don't really want to be exposed for like the things that we're weak at. And I think we should put ourselves. I mean, not you, but like people like me who are kind of like in the mid-level should put themselves out there a little bit more to like learn from people like you. Because yeah, as you said, I'll probably be uploading this to YouTube later, and I think that the people in the chat are really thinking like this is so sick, because I don't usually sit there and talk about what my flaws are too much. I'm usually like dunking in ranked or whatever. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
this is
no, but not to cut you off or anything, but like that's one thing about playing like rank that kind of sucks. Like people don't really like exploit like your flaws as a player, because even when I play, it's like I know the things I do wrong. I know where I'm messing up. It's just I try to hide it, so like nobody can really figure out what that is, like what I'm doing bad. I know what I do bad. I know exactly what I do. That's not like that great. There's like points in tournament. Even like this past weekend when I was playing against Pumpkin Grand Finals, I'm like, man, I did that again. I always do that. I always make the same mistake. But I'm not gonna say what that is. So
no, yeah,
your
totally.
chat can
Yeah.
expose me.
Write it down. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good point. Because I never talk. And if I ever say I'm godlike, I'm totally saying it tongue in cheek. But one thing I feel like I'm good at is I know when I'm doing some dumb shit. Like I'm just like, and even I always think that. So when you play like a lower level player, would you ever say that you take people less seriously, or you're always on the same level of engagement? Like when you know that you're about to play, let's say Hoji or Shine in ranked, do you feel your attention level is changing, or is it when you run into a Super Diamond Ken, you're still kind of trying to beat their ass? Like on
It depends. That one, it really depends. Like, so if I run into like a Super Diamond Ken in ranked, like my initial like attention span level is probably like very lower as opposed if I ran into like Hoji or Shine. But if the like if I lose a round and like man, I'm thinking man, this Ken player played kind of good. Then I'll be like, okay, let me take
Uh,
this guy seriously. Like he's not a pushover.
so you do have a little bit of like pre-game judgment based on the character, their rank
Yeah,
level.
definitely the character. If I run into like Dan, I'm like, okay, this dude's trying to have a good time. I gotta let me get him out of here real quick or something.
Yeah, yeah. What I want to know, like, so when you go, thanks Mag for that gift sub to iDom. Your sub now, boy. But so, I think, there was a while there where I was really focused on my win rate, like, because you have a really high one usually. And is that something that you focus on? Like, I need to maintain this high win rate, or winning is a byproduct? And if so, when you're getting, I've never gotten past like 35 or something like that, and I just wonder. Like so there's probably a little bit of luck involved, but what if you could like expand on that a little bit?
So when I play, like my win rate with like Laura and Poison are like absurdly high, and G, but G's obviously not as high as those two, but it depends. Like sometimes I'm just like you know I woke up at like 5 in the morning and I don't know I wanted to play I don't know. I wanted to play Karen in my spare time or whatever, so I just boot up ranked and I play Karen or whatever it might be. But it depends. Like I don't care about my win rate per se, but I think it's like when I play lore and poison, I think I'm just trying to win and trying to improve, and like winning just comes with.
Yeah, I even because yeah, that's why I was mentioning about like taking diamond players seriously, or like I have a, sometimes I'm guilty of like seeing someone and like not taking it as serious or really not, and getting careless too long and then losing. And I was wondering if when you're on these huge win streaks, it's because there's a certain level of understanding that in Street Fighter Five, if you accidentally take something too careless for a second, you're just fucking dead. Uh,
Yeah, that's the thing with this game. Like it's super volatile, but like you can contain it if you know what's going on. And then again, it's not even volatile. Kind of like on the screen, like the match just started. Like I have no meter, you have no meter. Like no one's gonna explode right now. It's impossible.
so you're more willing to take some sort of risk in this situation because the consequences are less dire.
Yeah, like in the beginning of the match, who cares? Like the most damage I could probably do to you is like land. The worst thing that could happen to you right now is I land a jump in, but even then, like that's very, very, very unlikely.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, these are all questions that I already have like an answer to in my head, but I like hearing someone else elaborate it because I was talking earlier about holding cards, which I never could even imagine is a thing. People show their cards right away. Like if you ever have like some sort of, okay, like I did it with a space trap. Someone did it. I did a red fireball. They did crouch medium punch that whiffed, and I only applied the punish when I had the resources to kill him instead of applying it right away. You ever find yourself doing something like that where you saw something but you're gonna keep it in your back pocket for when you can really fuck him up for it?
Yes, but only I don't do that in ranked. I've done that I will say I've done that in tournament before.
Oh
Because
shit.
I have realized like when a certain player was like doing something constantly, I'm like, okay, he always does this, and I know he's gonna do this same exact thing again, so I'm actually gonna bait him this time.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, because space traps are something that I actually don't apply enough of. I don't know why I don't. Laura probably has a ton of those things. You probably got
Yeah,
with a ton of those.
yeah. There's like these are like super important in this game. Like Akira's another like really good one. Like everything just whiffs on her. It's weird.
One thing I'll notice right here out the gate, I think this is one of our earlier matches. I'm already playing way better. This one, and then, so obviously the mental stack idea is having a thing here because I like the way I'm playing. I'm throwing the fireballs from a better range. I still backdash actually, but I got the crouch
Yeah.
medium kick there.
Yeah, like here is like it's really good, but like I'm still trying to like work my way in. But like I said, I'm having a hard time. And, like even that is like it's super good. I mean, I was just
Yeah,
trying to test it through, but like I said, I'm trying not to explode right here. That's all it really is.
Right. So like damage control until you can activate, then you activate,
Yeah.
and then try to explode me.
Yeah.
Check me this. Okay, this is okay. Look at your stun meter. Look at your health. Why this?
If you DP, I'm not gonna get stunned, and I'm still gonna get another opportunity. And like that's pretty common for like Laura. So like you could do like a light kick, and like if you hit like maybe not Akuma, because Akuma's like 3-frame goes really far. But most characters, if they had like a 3-frame there, that would probably just whiff, and then the thunderclap will hit them, and then that's like half your life gone right there.
Shit. Yeah, if I flinch at all too, like if I'm too late with a stand medium kick or something.
Yeah.
Dang.
So, like,
yeah, so you just caught me. Yeah, and you're right. Like, so I made this video about Tokido versus Phenom where he had such a good idea of like when he was actually going to get killed or not. I don't. You might not have seen that, but he does EXDP, and it always seems like it's the most YOLO thing ever. But every time I took it to the lab in that exact situation, he never would die.
Yeah, that I do want to say that is also another super important thing about this game, knowing when you could die. Like, you could have like if you hit me with like counter hit stand jab, I could have probably died. But if you just said, "Oh, I see him charging clap, I'm going to EXDP," I'm not gonna die from that.
Dang, yeah, that's awesome, dude. I definitely don't think about that enough, or I think my risk reward's a little bit off with that.
I think that's why like a lot of players get annoyed when it's like, man, why do you uppercut there? He could have died.
Yeah,
from
he was
that.
dead.
Yeah, I think that's why players get annoyed when they say that.
Or like I think I was talking about this yesterday. The difference between like another Laura doing that and you doing that, and they say like, oh, well, iDom does it. Like, why aren't I able to do it? Because it's like the risk reward situation might not be the same.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's fucking awesome. And then I don't know.
That was very questionable. When you did that, I was like, oh, I guess he doesn't want to win.
Yeah, I wonder if I was trying to do that or if I tried to EX. So I tried to EXDP, but I should have just held on to it. Yeah, because that's all you needed. Yeah.
Yeah, because when Laura's in V-trigger, you get steamrolled.
This is actually the perfect example of what you just talked about, because you do this to take a risk, but you kind of gauge it out like, okay, if he DPs here, I'm good. But me, I thought the opposite, where it's like, okay, if I get DP'd here, the worst thing that could happen is I get a DP punish and I can survive that. Oh. But I didn't think about the rest of it. I didn't think about not only this, which is bad, but then also this.
Yeah.
So
into like an Oki situation, into like just getting stunned in one hit. Like even if you like go back a bit. So like even when you block the fireball, all I'm thinking is like, man, I should probably command grab him here, but I like delayed a bit before I was gonna do the command grab, and then when I saw you block the DP, when I blocked the DP, I was like, oh, well, sick. I did all this now.
Oh my god.
I was gonna command grab, yeah.
Like, and getting command grab sucked too, but it doesn't suck this bad.
Yeah, it doesn't suck that bad.
Yeah, so I mean that one situation led me to here, and I mean that could have been. I mean, was that a true mix-up, really?
Oh, I think I dropped this combo. But yeah, that's a true mix-up.
So like, I would have had to, even if I V-shifted. Oh, I would be in the corner if I V-shifted, and I would have no V-trigger, which you would like.
Yeah.
Damn.
So even managing like your opponent's resources, that's why I think Poison's so good. Because Poison's so good because Heart Raid, you're not gonna get V-trigger. Laura's kind of the same way. It's like, her mix-ups, you're either gonna die or you're gonna V-reversal. But then again, V-reversaling Laura is good in my opinion. Like, if you don't have V-trigger versus Laura, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I actually used to use V-trigger 2 against you, and that was actually my reason, is because it's 2 bar, and I thought, well, I could V-reversal a couple times and then still get maybe enough for V-trigger. That was my thinking behind that, but V-trigger 1's just, it's good.
I think whenever I use like G or Poison versus Laura, I don't even get V-trigger. V-trigger is not even in the back of my mind.
Interesting.
Whenever I play against this character.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Sagat lately, is that the game plan of like outplay as much as you can if you can, and then once you get V-trigger, you just get V-trigger and do the same thing. But it does seem like you want to use it differently consistently in that matchup, is like keep them in the corner with V-reversal and V-reversal the fierces and tiger shots up close and stuff.
Yeah. It's kind of the same with Poison too. Like whenever I play against like Poison, if I get her close to the corner, I'm going to V-reversal to try to knock her down. It's like the same game plan with like Sagat and like all those characters. It's just like the characters that are hard to keep corner, like Rashid, for example, you can't really do that against them.
Mm. Wow. So you went the fierce into the jab here. Is that set up?
That, nah, it's just Laura. That move recovers really fast. That's just Laura being Laura.
That's that
I
same
can't really-
concept. Yeah. Dang. Okay. So I eat that, and I could be. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
down.
I dropped the combo. I think I kind of I thought I was out of V trigger. I think that was the issue.
Yeah, and that's crazy. You still had V trigger after that. That's crazy. Okay, but yeah, I mean that was a perfect. So I mean, it seems like that risk reward thing was a big part of it, and I wonder if we're gonna keep seeing that, where it's like you make a call that seems risky, but you're gonna survive, and then I make a call that just at the wrong time, like right when you activate V trigger, then I do a big risk like that. That's not good.
Yeah, risk reward is super important in this game, but like you really have to manage what risk you want to take.
Yeah, like even that right there, this is a risk. Like putting myself in a -2 situation like that against Laura is a little bit of like a, you could command grab if you wanted to,
Yeah.
or at least it puts that thought in there when you see like a -2, right? When you do -2, do you see that as like the same type of risk thing? Like just getting a -2 is kind of risky.
Only against like Mika and Geef. Those are the only two characters.
Oh, interesting. Because yeah, I mean, I guess if you do a -2 and then try to throw tech right away, I get a light kick. It's not that big of a deal, I guess.
Yeah. It's not the end of the world. Like the worst thing that can happen is like you back throw me into the corner and then like you have the entire screen to work with, and like getting in on Akuma as Laura is not easy.
I see, but so you're probably less likely to do a -2 in like say this situation where I could back throw you into the corner, but maybe
Yeah.
mid screen's different. Man,
Yeah.
how do you juggle all that? How,
it's important against like what character you're going against. Like does this character destroy you in neutral? Like Karen's another example. If I get back thrown by Karen and I'm Laura, it's like, man, now I gotta get in again, and it's like I'm gonna take all this damage trying to get in. That I'm not even gonna have enough health by the end of the round or whatever.
Yeah, that's probably just a lot of experience too to be able to like identify the risk reward right away on everything. Because I just feel like that's really fast paced thinking to be like, oh, is that worth it here? And like looking at the health bars and the EX and the V meter, because you're probably actively always looking at that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like any situation where you can, just like EX bar, health, what round it is, etc.
Yeah.
There's that same counter hit there. Man, yeah, I don't know. That too. See, I feel like you're 2 counter hits in a row. I must be just pressing jab. No, I press fierce. You keep catching my fierce. 2 long star.
Yeah, 2-4.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's just a bad spot to be in. Like that's not even. I can't even like really. That's hard to coach because you kind of need the V trigger to make the comeback, but like I said, that's kind of a hard spot to be in.
yeah, like maybe I should have V reversal that to give myself some chance, but then I would have 2 bars and then.
Yeah, like you're not like the way I'm thinking about this is he's either go to V reversal and then like I don't have to deal with Akuma V trigger, which is good for me, or if he doesn't V reversal, you gotta shimmy, throw. Am I gonna command grab you? All this stuff you gotta think about.
I'm literally dead no matter what. Yeah. Damn. And then dying with full resources. Damn. Well, I mean, that's awesome. It seems like, and I talk about risk reward all the time, but it's so cool hearing like a higher level player talk about it. That's super helpful, man. I appreciate you taking the time. I wanted to ask also, outside of Capcom Cup, obviously, what is a particular tournament match that we can watch? I'll watch in the future sometime. That it doesn't have to be like I got first place and that's why it was good. Like a match that you really had to dig deep somewhere else and that you were most satisfied with winning.
My favorite tournament match outside of Capcom Cup would probably be I think.
Like you really had to search deep inside to get the read, and it looked dire.
Like thinking about it, I feel like my matches usually are like my tournament matches at least are usually somebody besides Capcom Cup is usually either I'm getting destroyed or my opponent gets destroyed really fast. That I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to think like of a close match.
Yeah, me
Uh,
too.
hmm.
I suppose it had to be close, but I guess one that you really didn't expect to win, and it was just really gratifying to win. Like afterward, you're just like, Jesus Christ, I can't believe I did that. But I guess that would just be most of Capcom Cup, right?
um, yeah, I'm trying to think of one.
Chakote in grand finals. When was that? Uh,
Oh, that was
sounds like Frosty, but
that was Defend the North. Yeah, we played in grand finals, but I had the thing with that matchup, which like a lot of I told my stream chat in the past, is I lost to him in winners finals, but when I had to play him again in grand finals, I already had like a game plan. Like I knew the mistakes I made, so like I kind of already had like I knew the reason I lost. Like knowing why you lost is like super important too.
dang.
So
So when you lost there, do you sit and try to visualize?
it's kind of like the same thing when I complain where I like play Art and I'm like, man, Art just never blocks, does he? It was kind of the same thing where I was like, man, he just plays the same way all the time, doesn't he? And then like I caught a read on the way he was playing, and then like I just ran it. I ran the same thing over and over and over again. And I never really had to switch where what I was doing.
Ah.
Like my initial game plan my initial game plan on how to play against Mika didn't work, and I realized Chakotay had like a different play style, like an like not an unorthodox, but like it doesn't fit my criteria of how I normally play against Mika. So I just had to change up to the way he was playing, and then like he never changed the way to change up to my change, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no,
And
totally.
then yeah, I kind of just ran it from there.
I That's another thing I talk about a lot that people have caught on to me saying is that there are a type of player, and I might even fit that bill for other players. But as far as what from my perspective goes, there's a certain high level player or high rank player that once you understand their approach, you can never lose to them. Do you see?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but I feel like there's people out there who have like the one my one way of playing should always work, but when that one way of playing doesn't work, they don't switch it. I
Yeah.
feel like that's a lot of players' problem.
Yeah, I mean, and you show me the reason why that was important to me, like when we played, is because like I could see on some level I fit the same criteria, but so when I notice that about other players, I try to wonder like what is it exactly that I'm not changing here that you're reading, because that means you're paying attention to more little situations than I am, and I just don't run into that with a lot of players. Like even when I play Shine, I feel like at least I have some sort of chance. Like I can see what he's doing a little bit. That's how I can tell you like you're a separate player, and I don't.
I feel like that's like a lore and poison thing. No, that also kind of fixed that criteria. Like, well, lore and poison is definitely a lot different. Like, you lose faster. I feel like that's the main issue. Like, I mean, Cody hits hard too. Don't get me wrong,
He
but
does. I mean, yeah. I've been wondering about that matchup. I used to think like Akuma's got that as long as he plays right, but he's made me think differently with the knife especially. I'm like, huh, that's actually kind of good.
yeah, I didn't realize how good the knife was. Either because like whenever I play Hoji, you always use the pipe, but like the knife is something right now.
Yeah, I mean, on another note, I never get to play Punk for long sets. So as far as he's clearly a different breed than the other people you play, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is so like is his is it his level of adaptation is really fast, and his neutral is obviously like supreme. Like, what else?
It's
Are there anything else worth mentioning?
it's the neutral game is like super this neutral game's super difficult. So that's why I think Poison's a lot better because the neutral is skewed, obviously. Like you can't win like his neutral is obviously better than mine, but when I play Poison, it's like, oh, well, it's kind of like you're playing you're playing basketball with like a bunch of guys who are like 5'6", and then like I get I don't know my brother who's 8 foot, and I tell you to beat him. Like it's not really fair, but like you got to do what you got to do. It's definitely a lot easier when you don't have to play neutral.
Yeah. You're kind of, I always talk about that, kind of like skipping the mid game a little bit, like you're taking that part away and just forcing them to play a different version of the game.
Yeah.
I think what was the one that happened recently?
ECT.
Yeah, or you made like what people thought was like a questionable switch. Oh yeah, it was when you switched to Laura, and he said you were just hoping to beat.
Oh, yeah. Like that's more of I I feel like one issue. I enjoy playing Laura. Like Laura is like one of the most fun characters I have played in a fighting game, and it just sucks because like sometimes I want to play Laura in tournament, but it sucks because like I think Poison's the better character.
Mm.
But yeah, it's more like it's like a pride thing. I want to say.
Yeah, it's interesting how you guys are like. So you guys are both like the top level Street Fighter players, but you're so different in that he's got no problem saying with his mind right when he's done doing something, and you're on the opposite. Where even when you get clowned like that, like the way he was like disrespecting you, you just kind of bite your tongue and say good games or whatever. It's interesting that how you guys are both the top level players on opposite sides of like the reaction spectrum. I thought that was interesting. Yeah, man. Well, hey, I appreciate that, man. I need to get something to eat real quick, but
Yeah.
I really appreciate you taking the time, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll see you in NLBC later. I'm gonna try to sign up for that more often because it helps me kind of reflect and want to work on certain things. Like rank doesn't really do that for me, so I need to do this more often. But yeah, I appreciate it, man.
No problem.
All right. Yep.